They say truth is stranger than fiction. They forget to mention that sometimes it's also more terrifying. And this is Whispers of History. This is the story of Dodger Stadium, the crown jewel of Los Angeles baseball, and the graveyard of a vanished community. Beneath the roar of the crowd and the crack of the bat lies a quieter echo, one that doesn't cheer, but mourns. For the ghosts of Chávez Ravine have not forgotten what was taken from them. Before there was Dodger blue, before the lights of the stadium pierced the California night, there was Chávez Ravine, a patchwork of modest homes, gardens, and dusty hillsides. A place where Mexican-American families built lives, raised children, and tended small dreams. They called their neighborhoods Palo Verde, Loma, and Bishop, three tight-knit communities nestled in the hills north of downtown Los Angeles. They weren't wealthy, but they were proud. Neighbors shared tamales on porches. Children played stickball in the dirt roads, and on warm nights, the hills rang with the sound of guitars and laughter. But progress, or something that looked like it, was on its way. In the early 1950s, the city of Los Angeles declared that Chávez Ravine would be the site of a modern public housing project. Families were told they would be relocated temporarily, promised new, better homes. Many believed it. They signed the papers. They waited. But the housing plan was abandoned. Politics shifted, the dream evaporated, and instead, the land was sold. To the Brooklyn Dodgers, a team searching for a new home. What followed was chaos. Police arrived to evict the last holdouts. Families clung to their doorframes, screaming. Mothers dragged from porches. Children crying as bulldozers flattened their world. It was 1959 when the last family, the Arachigas, were forced out. And in that cloud of dust, as the homes of Chávez Ravine were reduced to rubble, something darker was left behind. 3 years later, Dodger Stadium rose from the wreckage, 56,000 seats, gleaming concrete, the largest baseball stadium in the world. It was a triumph, but one built upon ghosts. Construction workers reported strange things during the build. Tools moved overnight. Machinery would stop without reason. Some swore they saw figures watching from the hills, silent silhouettes in the mist. One night, a foreman claimed he saw a woman in a white dress standing where the third base line would be. When he approached, she vanished. He quit the next day. Years passed. The Dodgers won championships. The crowds came. But when the noise faded and the stadium emptied, strange sounds filled the void. Security guards tell stories of footsteps echoing in the corridors long after the last fan has left, of doors slamming shut when no one is near, of voices, speaking softly in Spanish, carried on the wind through the deserted concourses. One guard, working the night shift, reported seeing a flicker of light in the upper decks, like the glow of a lantern. When he went to investigate, he found an empty row, but on one of the seats lay an old photograph, a black and white picture of a family standing outside a small adobe home. On the back, scrawled in faded ink, Nuestra Casa, Chávez Ravine, 1952. The guard turned it in to Lost and Found, but the photo was gone the next morning. The janitorial staff tells of an eerie phenomenon that comes once or twice a year, always late at night. It begins with the sound of guitar music, faint and distant, drifting from the parking lots that sit atop the old neighborhoods. Then, laughter, children, the faint murmur of families sharing an evening outside. And if you stand very still, some say you can smell it, the scent of fresh tortillas and wood smoke, carried up from the earth itself. But when you move closer, the sounds vanish. The air goes cold, and you realize it's only you, standing in the empty silence of a stadium built on someone else's home. Among the most persistent of the hauntings is the story of La Dama Blanca, the woman in white. She is said to appear in the lower seating area, near the third base line, perhaps the same place she was seen during construction. Witnesses describe her as a middle-aged woman in a flowing white dress, her dark hair loose and tangled, her face sorrowful. She never speaks. Some believe she's the spirit of Aurora Arechiga, one of the last women forcibly removed from her home in 1959. Photographs from the eviction show her being dragged by officers, screaming as her house burned behind her. Now, they say, she walks the place where her living room once stood, forever searching for the home she lost. Beneath Dodger Stadium lies a maze of service corridors, storage areas, and forgotten rooms, places few fans ever see. Maintenance workers whisper of a tunnel that leads into the hillside, sealed off decades ago, never reopened. Some say it was once a storm drain. Others believe it's a leftover access from the original Chávez Ravine roads. But those who have ventured near it describe hearing voices from the other side. Children laughing, doors creaking open, and once, the sound of a lullaby sung in Spanish, echoing faintly from the darkness. No one goes near that tunnel anymore. For decades, some fans have whispered of the curse, that Dodger Stadium was built on stolen land, and the spirits of Chávez Ravine still demand justice. They point to the streaks of bad luck that haunt the team, sudden losses, bizarre injuries, near misses. Even when the Dodgers triumph, the curse is said to linger, a quiet reminder that victory rests atop tragedy. And though the city may celebrate, the ground beneath remembers. Even today, after midnight, the stadium breathes. Security cameras have captured figures in the stands, motionless watching the field. When the cameras pan back, they are gone. Maintenance workers have reported cold spots near Section 36, where the remains of old homes once stood. Sometimes, during night games, fans in those seats claim to feel a tap on their shoulder, only to turn and find no one there. Others hear whispers, a phrase repeated softly, almost drowned by the crowd. No nos olvides, don't forget us. Chávez Ravine is gone from the map, but not from memory. Its people, displaced, erased, and paved over, left something of themselves behind. Every cheer, every anthem, every victory at Dodger Stadium rises through layers of history, through the ashes of kitchens, gardens, and front yards that once stood there. And when the stadium is silent, their echoes return. Maybe they aren't angry. Maybe they just want to be remembered. Because what haunts us most isn't always what we see, but what we've chosen to forget. This was the story of Dodger Stadium and the ghosts that linger beneath the lights of Los Angeles, a place where the cheers of the living are met by the whispers of the past.